Once you realize the game that you would like to play, you can no longer follow her lead because at the point that you're following her lead, you are ruined. I'm cooking. I'm cooking. So you have to pay to play the game of improving yourself. Oil and gas company shoot down to 600, and he now has to realize $1,400 in loss, carrying loss on his tax statement, which he can honestly get credited for at the end of the tax year.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Uncle Carlton, co-host of the Two Black Kings podcast. Xavier, what's up with you, man?
What's good, kings and queens? My name is Xavier Greer. I'm also the co-host of the Two Black Kings podcast. Thank you for joining us this week.
The Two Black Kings podcast seeks to inspire a generation to equip themselves with tools to navigate life. We will be discussing topics such as financial literacy, pop culture, and relationships from the perspective of two Black kings.
Here on the Two Black Kings podcast, we want to bring you different perspectives from some of the highest achievers within their fields. While the guests we have on the show do not reflect the ideas of the co-hosts nor the companies we work for, we believe in providing you with the knowledge, tools to take your life to the next level.
Before you do anything, like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Send it out to at least 5 friends and follow us on Instagram at Two Black Kings.
All right, let's get into this week's episode.
And what is up, ladies and gentlemen? Back again, Uncle Carlton with the Two Black Kings podcast. Xavier, what's up, bro?
Man, what's going on, bro? Life is good, bro. That's all I can say. Life is good. God is good. I'm having a great time living. Bro, I ain't got no complaints. I ain't doing anything this past week like special. Yeah, I really just been on that new Warzone.
Yeah, bro, that resurgence. That junk crazy. We got a couple of duckies, didn't we? Yeah, bro.
And I'm actually got better at the video game. That's the funny part.
And you don't even own it. That's the
Yeah, I don't. So that junk is free. When that junk is free, then shit, it's me.
Somebody said it. Man, my week was that pretty good. I ain't got nothing to complain about. I mean, I paid my bills on time. I'm having fun. I'm killing it at work, killing it on the basketball court. I'm getting stronger. I'm getting the
on the basketball court out the interview and shit.
Yeah, bro. And when I go to Gold's Gym, I'm just, jewelry causing havoc. So I'm doing my thing,
Okay.
But I had about 21 points last week. Got a game tomorrow. So we'll see how that go. But
Yeah, that's the love, bro. Tell me about so Rashad was telling me right before we got on about.
Oh yeah. So I go to Gold's Gym. I'm not gonna tell y'all where it is, but it's somewhere in Austin or whatever. It's packed. It's packed too. Every day was packed today. But today I was in the gym with Jacoy, whatever. And RDC World go to my gym or whatever. And one of the dudes, I forgot what his name.
But remind me who RDC World is, because
RDC World is a group on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok that does funny like skits. And so they've done skits for about 3 or 4 years, got about a couple million followers on each platform. So they're pretty big. They're not a podcast, they're just a group that does skits. They have a podcast and a Twitch, but
his main one is like the Jermaine Cole.
My favorite movie when they was like, "What's your favorite quirk?" And it said, "Enhance ignorance." They said I get ignorant in regular situations, and then just said, "What the fuck you say, nigga?" I was like, bro, I had met one of them at Play in Austin, downtown.
Okay.
And I said, "What's up to him?" Because I seen him at the gym, and I saw him again today. I was like, "Oh, what's up?" And we just said, "What's up?" And I noticed all the rest of them were there. They get on the bike, and then they go into the middle, do that little arm shit. So I talked to one of them. I'm gonna go hoop with him at some point this week. So hopefully, when I hoop with him, I can introduce myself, get us in, and hopefully, I can come on the podcast here pretty soon.
Yeah, for real. That would be golden.
Really, I need to sell him a house. No cap. Because I feel like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. But they only have one house right now, so maybe they want to just buy another one house, or maybe buy 2 or 3. So
okay,
that's kind of what I'm looking at right now.
But yeah. So King of the Week, you got a king.
Yeah, bro. So before y'all call me a bandwagon fan, I'm a Suns fan. Here you go. Here you go.
My friend, my friend, no.
Well, anyway, like the Suns, I've been a Suns fan since about 2020, right? I was a fan of them when I saw them compete in the bubble. They went undefeated, and at that point, they had just acquired Cameron Payne, and him, Mikal Bridges, Cameron Johnson, D Book was going off, and after that summer, or I don't know when that season ended particularly, but after that season had ended, they acquired Chris Paul from OKC, and they've been pretty much balling ever since. So I'm a Chris Paul fan, I'm a James Harden fan, now I'm a D Book fan and a Cameron Payne fan. So I like whatever teams that they're on, and they happen to mostly be on Phoenix, so I'm going to cheer for Phoenix right now. And they just acquired Kevin Durant in a blockbuster trade. Probably the biggest blockbuster trade to ever happen at this point. I mean, you had two stars in Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant, two absolute superstars, requesting a trade from the same team. It was an epic failure over there in Brooklyn. And so they said, forget the Eastern Conference. They both came to the Western Conference. KD going to the Suns and Kyrie Irving going to the Dallas Mavericks.
Right.
So King of the Week to Kevin Durant only because I love the Suns and he's coming here to get us a championship.
Yeah, big dog, bro. KD has always been that dude. And I love, because he's cocky with it. He lets you know that he's like one of the best to ever touch the ball, which, I mean, he is at the end of the day.
And to be honest, he's just a hooper. He loves to hoop. And so I've luck with that.
Yeah, strictly hooping.
Yeah, bro.
So yeah, King of the Week, my boy KD.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, we're gonna move on to the Book of the Week. So is that for KD?
Nah, that's about
So we got the Book of the Week. So one of my work mentors, Nimi Krukovo, he actually recommended this book probably about a year and a half ago. It's called The Millionaire Next Door. But it's basically outlining the secrets of the top 1%, kind of, things that they do, routines that they get into, to make their lives exponentially better. And so I haven't read it before.
Psst, what's the secret?
Likely. Anyway, so I haven't read it before. This is my first time reading it. And we're trying to pertain it to the topic, which is this we're going to talk a lot about investing in yourself, what that looks like. And so I thought that was so appropriate to have The Millionaire Next Door. And so I'll give you, a synopsis of it probably a month and a half from now, to let you know how much I like it. So yeah, it's by Thomas J. Stanley and William D. Danko.
I think one of my friends had recommended I read that book a couple years ago, but I never did. So, Xavier, you tell me how it is, and we could do a little book review, whatever. But to move into the next question, I'm actually have some personal qualms with this next question. And we're talking about hygiene. That's the topic of the week. So these questions kind of flow perfectly into that topic. And we're going to give you guys some deep level game on hygiene tips.
Deep level game, bro.
Yeah, how to keep yourself grown, especially when you're going out.
Yeah.
But the first question I have is, can guys be too pretty? And a lot of people used to characterize me as being too pretty. I never really saw that in myself in the mirror.
Really?
But, you know how people be like, they don't be actually looking at themselves in the mirror. They be looking at the version of themselves. So I think that's kind of what's happening with me. But can guys be too pretty? I will tell you that if you take care of yourself, you will be labeled as gay for the most part,
bro. And I think that's the wildest part of it, is that when did taking care of yourself become gay in any way?
I don't know.
And the main people that are saying these things have dirt under their nails, they don't have the edge up,
or they're just a girl that they can't get with you.
Yeah, and they're just jealous. So we could just knock that out of the park, because when I tell you, that's one thing as a man that I've learned more and more is it's just about taking care of yourself. I grew up with majority guys around me. We went to all boys school, so that didn't make it any better. So it was just there was no group of us that was just oh, bro, we should be doing this too, our hair. I mean, obviously, the basics, get the fade, get yourself trimmed up and like that.
When we went to school, we did not care how we looked at all.
Absolutely. We were trying to pass classes.
Yeah,
we were trying to survive.
To go back to the whole can you be too pretty thing, I think, yes, there is a point where you're being too pretty. And I think that's when you're trying to out-dress or out-pretty a woman. That's like the woman's job to be pretty. For a man, at least how I see it is, you should keep yourself looking as best as you possibly can naturally. Like we shouldn't be aiming to be, prettier than women, like by getting, all this different things done every other week, but at the same time, you do need to take care of yourself because it's just healthy to do that.
It's just, a fine line, though. That's my whole thing.
It's a fine line. And sometimes you're going to cross it because a lot of people go on my Instagram and they look and they say, oh, I know he's gay. I know I can turn him out. But when they meet me, they don't realize that I act very masculine. Like not to the point where I'm like a macho man or anything, but I'm like just like very stoic, very like.
You don't give off those vibes.
I don't give off feminine.
It's feminine vibes, yeah.
Exactly. And I say, be as, as best as look as best as you can, but it's really more how you act. And what people are saying online literally doesn't matter at all. So that's what I would say to that question.
And so we talk a lot about it, but we want to be applicable. So what we're about to do now is we're actually about to give you a high level game on how we personally as kings keep ourselves up to date, things that we like in our everyday routines. And we're going to get into more of the investing in yourself. But this is just, it was a question from the viewers about sharing like hygiene tips. So you want to go first or you want me?
Yeah, I'll go first. And I'll preface this by saying, if you're listening to the podcast on Buzzsprout, refer to YouTube to see the actual products in hand. But I want to start off with first, what I do first in the morning is I brush my teeth. And, obviously floss as well. I got a couple of permanent retainers, so it's kind of hard to floss these front teeth. But I use Listerine. I don't think, I just bought a new bottle. I actually got this today because I ran out of my other one. But this one is zero alcohol because I don't like it when my mouth is burning.
Burning, bro.
Yeah.
Oh my.
I get the zero alcohol. I don't know if y'all can see it, but it's a cheat code. If you just don't fuck with how Listerine tastes or how it feels in your mouth, you can get the zero alcohol in it. Yeah. It's pretty much good. Second thing I would say is hand soap. So this is important if you have a house or an apartment, if you want to put it around, but this is just in general because this hand soap doesn't dry my hands out and it smells like mahogany teak wood. I brought a mahogany teak wood. I know it. Yeah, I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, dude, the mahogany teak wood soap. I got this from Bed Bath & Beyond. Actually, it was a present from my auntie, so thanks, Auntie Gwen. But this is a smooth soap. Next thing, probably one of the most important, something that I don't use enough, but I do use pretty much on a daily, is cocoa butter. So this is if I can get to focus. This is a cocoa butter formula, Palmer's. You can get this at any Walgreens, any Walmart, any just store. I got this from one of my ex. She used to put this on all the time. It smells super good, so I wanted to do it. It has vitamin E's, it heals and softens. But this is really mostly for, I would say, people with color, people with skin color.
You never know.
Yeah, so that's an excellent lotion. I'll have you smelling good and feeling good. Okay. Next thing is soap. So this is body soap. And I don't know if anybody knows this. I don't know how you feel about this particular soap, Xavier, but it's the Caress soap. And this is the cocoa butter.
Yeah.
And it's just the smell on this. I've been using this soap since 2018.
Dang.
The smell on this in the 2017. The smell on this soap is so good, it's crazy. It has shea butter and brown sugar for gorgeous, radiant skin. People always touch my skin and be like, "Oh, why is it so soft?" It's soft because
Caress.
It's soft because of this stuff. So it's an exfoliating lotion, so it'll have all the dead skin wiping off. And I use this, every other day. I have another soap that I use that has no chemicals in it, so I switch off. But this soap, this is some great stuff right here. Next up, and yeah, I have a lot of products, but this is what I use for my hair and my beard. I use some other stuff for my beard too, but it's just
it's on your beard. Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Curl Enhancer smoothie. I actually got this from Surf Cruz back in 2008 when he was doing wave videos. I don't know what it is, but he always used to go in about this Curl Enhancer smoothie, so I use that. And for my beard, I use Billy's beard softener. And so what this does is basically just makes your beard a little bit softer and moisture.
Mm-hmm.
That's really all you need for that. And every day at night, my skin is very dry, especially my face. So I put on vitamin E oil around my entire face. Oh fuck, I took a picture. Vitamin E oil, just regular vitamin E oil. Obviously, I have two brushes. I got a hard brush and a soft brush for my waves.
God, too.
And two more things. So I went to the dermatologist probably like in 2016 because I had bad skin. Like before I had a beard, like I had a whole bunch of pimples and shit all around here, a whole bunch of pimples around here. And I want you to know that there is a cure for bad skin. There is literally a cure. Like if you're going through a whole bunch of pimples, or you're not in puberty, there is a cure for it that you should go to the dermatologist and get. So what I have, they used to prescribe me Epiduo, but I graduated from that, so I'm using this. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's just something that's for my skin. I got this again, like probably 2015, and I still have almost a full bottle because I only use it when like I'm breaking out or something's happening, and it goes right away. And sometimes I use it preemptively, you know, if like I just got rid of something or I feel something coming in if I ingested a lot of sugar. But this is some great stuff. This works 100% of the time.
Seriously.
And this kind of like is the same thing, but these two go hand in hand. I got them from the same dermatologist. I don't know what this is called, but really the whole point of me talking about this is to say that if you are looking in the mirror and you're mad at your skin, go to the dermatologist. You will get cured. 100%.
Please.
Last thing, cologne, Louis Vuitton, Le Mincite. I got those from my dad for Christmas.
That's the one, bro. That just smells good.
It just smells crazy. And so this cologne is $440 from Louis Vuitton. I mean, the cheapest bottle. I mean, so it's a lot of money, but I get compliments on this shit all the time. So I really recommend some type of cologne. Xavier's gonna give you some more.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Xavier.
Okay, cool. So we got your self-care routine, nice king tips that we should take ahead. So for me, on top of using just Colgate, these white teeth.
Type shit.
I do TheraBreath. This is actually a brand new one that I just got into. I saw a lot of people use it, so I was like, oh, let me try it out. And I really like it because you only feel the freshness after you like spit it out. Because like when you have the Listerine in your mouth, that shit burns like sometimes where you were talking about no alcohol. But this is like very refreshing. Absolutely love it. It's a TheraBreath. And I got the sparkle mint kind. So I love it. Right after I get done brushing my teeth, that's when I hit. Okay, so all right, I also do a 3-step skin routine. So the first step in the skin routine, y'all see that skin. You feel it?
Oh shit! I don't see no cracks, no bumps. That's crazy.
But nah. Thank you, Rihanna. She had a dynamic Super Bowl performance. Oh yeah, I follow the Fenty skin.
Is you going crazy with the skincare?
Yeah, absolutely. So I start off with the cleanser. This is the Fenty skin cleanser. I do that. I get the water, wash it on my face for about two minutes, and then wash it off with water. And then right before it gets completely dry, they have like the fat water toner.
Oh, they got the toner?
Yeah, so this just provides like pretty much covering your pores and making them more like, they're supposed to be bouncy. They're supposed to be like very, like when you pull your skin, you know how old folks, you pull their skin and like it doesn't snap back into place. So this helps with that snap back, the elasticity of your skin. Okay. So I actually really love the fat water. And then I actually ran out. The third step in that process is the sunscreen. And so once you get the sunscreen, you let that fat water dry. You put the sunscreen on just to moisturize. So I just put general sunscreen on. That's a common misconception, especially among Black people, that we just need to be wearing sunscreen at all times. It protects our melanin and everything like that. And so next, what I do, so y'all know, I gotta take the hair off you. I gotta take the headphones.
That hair going crazy. That hair is going crazy. You should have seen it when he had that bald fade.
Bro, when I had the bald fade, I had nothing. So, my girl, Veronica, it's called The Lab, DALAB. but she got her own stuff. It's like a hydration mist. So anybody that listens to have locks, absolutely love this. Is like a hydration mist. So I for about, and I actually don't do it often, maybe like twice a week. I put that in my head. And then I also follow it up with the anti-itch. Well, it just keeps me. I actually use that for my beard sometimes. When I don't have Marcus's oil, but we have a friend named Marcus Evans. He's at his own barbering company, but he's called Finesse Fades. And bro, when I tell you that has the best beard oil I've ever.
Yeah, that shit is great. I really wish I could restock on it often.
Yeah, I need to text him. So that's gonna be my next thing to do. So after I get done with that, I always, and I think I got this from my granddad. I've always liked the smell of cologne. I always want to smell good. That's probably one of my biggest compliments that a person can give me is, you smell good. So I'm gonna give you my top 3 that I'm in rotation now.
Please do, bro.
So the first one, I'll pull it out the box for y'all. So the first one is Light Blue Dolce & Gabbana. This is like my everyday, like when I'm just going out hanging with my friends.
You just got that bottle too, huh?
Yeah, no, I just have a lot of clothes, so I don't use much of it all the time. So, yeah, so that's like my go-to if I just want to smell good and we're, going for a quick night out, nothing too crazy. When I'm on a date night, though, when I'm like, I got a chick and I want her to like really smell this masculine up, I do the YSL.
The YSL, come on with it. That does smell pretty good,
bro. When I take this, probably my favorite. Like, for real, of all my rotations, this is my favorite. Like, this is like my go-to. So it's like,
is it like a sexy vibe or is it like a classy vibe?
Yeah, it's very much sexy. Like, upper tier. You got some money, and you about to go out in the town. So yeah, that's my favorite. And then so I do love cologne so much that I actually subscribe to this one, like it's called Scentbird. But basically they send you like a scent every month and you get a 30-day supply of it. So this one right here that I just got, let's see if y'all can see that man.
What is it called? I can't see it. It's not focusing.
So it's called Creed Aventus.
Okay,
yeah, bro. Creed Aventus. This bottle, like I would say a 1.5 milliliter bottle of this is like $325. Like it's very expensive.
Oh shoot, like $325. Oh,
and I know $3.
On God.
So when I tell you like this is when I really need to be on my boss shit and I need to impress somebody or I'm about to go on the town. This is the Creed Aventus and it never misses. Never misses.
I hope never misses, bro. I just subscribe to whatever you subscribe to. Okay.
And then my last little thing, my go-to chapstick. You can never have dry.
You know what? I do not rock chapstick. That's what I need.
But occasionally, just to when it gets a little bit colder outside, that's when I start putting it on. But
on God, my hands and my lips be ashen.
Yep, that's my
But yeah, so let me just take you through a smooth little morning routine for me, just so we can finish this off. So I wake up in the morning. Sometimes I take a shower if I wake up early enough. Many times I don't. So I'll brush my teeth, Listerine, and then I'll wash my face.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'll put on my like underwear and my undershirt. Mm-hmm. Then I'll go back after my face is dried up and everything is dried up. And then I'll put like a coat of lotion on my body and a coat of vitamin E oil on my face. Something very light, just so I can get that little glow.
Yeah.
But like, it's not like, oh shit, his face is oily, but it's just like
like your grandma used to do when you just
just like
greasing your face.
Yeah, I usually put a little bit on and then dot it with a towel type shit. If I really need to like impress somebody or I really need to look good, I actually throw in some of this liner in. It's called Black Ice. I get from Amazon. You just kind of spray into your beard to make it look a little bit fuller. But if I really like am just going to work or going somewhere and really don't care, I just leave that shit, brush it down. I don't really put products in my hair every single day because it's dead to do that.
Yeah.
Other than that, I just put my deodorant in. I throw my cologne on, throw my clothes on, make sure everything smells pretty good, and I just be out the door.
Facts. Like, and this should be a key point to take away for the women that listen to this podcast. Like, a man is only going to treat you as good as he treats himself. And so if he's putting if you see this man putting in the effort with the skincare routine, with the hair, how he smells, getting rid of acne, you know that this man is, probably going to take care of me very well.
Yeah,
you're not going to have to ask for extra. But, when you see a nigga with dirty fingernails and
his room dirty and he musty, it's like, okay,
don't be surprised when he treats you. Yeah.
Don't let his car be dirty too, type shit. I'm bored.
But yeah, what's the next question? That was a great question.
Yeah, I love that actually. I feel like I'm taking this shit for granted because I do it every day, but a lot of people don't. So I love that somebody asked about this. But the next question is, how can you tell a girl's intentions, and why don't women say what they mean? And so we can get into it because this is really like a large question, very broad, but we can kind of segment it down into smaller points. So let's start with, how can you tell a girl's intentions? Well, the real answer is it's impossible.
Yeah,
it's literally impossible to.
Yeah,
and it boils down to what we've already said on the podcast. She either likes you or she doesn't.
Period.
And if you have to ask if she likes you, she doesn't like you. Mm-hmm. So if you have to ask what a girl's intentions are, then she doesn't like you. And you should stay completely away from those girls. You should try to avoid, especially in your 20s, raising the level of interest for women that don't already like you. You should try to avoid that completely.
Yeah.
What is going to serve you better is if you go where you're appreciated, and if you're not appreciated in the places that you want to be appreciated in, work until you are appreciated in those places instead of complaining about it.
That's facts, bro. Yeah, I think that's an important fact to know. Especially with a girl's intentions, I think it's okay. So let me ask you this question, Rashad.
Yeah.
How soon do you, as a man, let the girl know about your intentions?
Well, to be honest, I tend to kind of play it cool, and what that means is I like for the women to kind of bring up, oh, should we get in a relationship? Oh, what are we? Because what I've noticed is when guys do that so much, just the average guy out there, that women kind of get turned off when a man asks, oh, what are we doing? Like, what are we? Blah, blah, blah. It kind of throws her off her energy. And I think personally that both should be seeking the relationship, but the man should be more focused on his purpose. So the woman should be asking about the relationship, if that makes any sense. And so I think it works better when the woman's kind of pressuring the man to get in the relationship versus the other way around, because women have so many options that, when you ask them, they kind of feel like you're tying them down. And this is the same as for men, but, men just don't have as many options as women do, period. So it's a little bit different.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, bro.
And then so the second part, why don't women say what they mean?
And so do you want to go in?
Yeah, I would say, so why don't women say what they mean? First of all, I think it comes from the intention part. So I think a lot of girls go in with, one intention, whether it be, this man is my husband, this man's going to be my sneaky link. And then when the person doesn't reciprocate that energy, all right, now intentions are off. And so now she's just saying things to get a reaction. And this is the whole part that we were.
That is excellent.
The girl playing the game and you not really playing the game with her. Because once you realize the game that she would like to play, you could no longer follow her lead. Because at the point that you're following her lead, you are ruined. And you are no longer going about the day that
Oh, you're a clear spinning. I can't do nothing for this. The game you're playing, you can no longer
play that joint. And I think that was the hard thing. So I had a conversation with a female this past weekend because she was asking me about well, sometimes men don't, express their feelings, or they don't express. And what I had to say to that is, primarily in the society we live in, men are consistently told not to feel their feelings. They're not supposed to, show how they actually feel. And when you become and started to harden that skin, grow a callus on the feelings that you have, it's kind of hard to, open yourself and be vulnerable to that next woman. And especially when you do it and it fails. it absolutely just ruins you. So that's why you say like
that's a great point. Let me just stop right here because a lot of people, they'll be like, oh, we need to encourage men to share their feelings. And then when men do share their feelings, they get treated negatively because of it. And I think that's the worst part. Like you said, it doesn't end up working out because let's just say a man does come clean, share his feelings, and then you use it against him in an argument months later. Then he's going to be like, I'm never talking to you about this again because you knew that let's just say my dad wasn't in my life and then you bring it up in an argument. Like that's a huge stressor. And so I think that's another reason why.
So let me ask you this. Has expressing your feelings ever worked?
No. And
why don't you think it works? Whenever and maybe our female audience can write us this or put us in the comments or anything, is that why is it when a man actually likes you and expresses the feelings that, you know, or expresses the actions of, okay, I want this to be a relationship, why is it always met with negativity?
Negativity, bro. It's because I don't actually know the answer, but I could kind of conjecture. I think that when a man expresses his emotions, because, you know, men are supposed to be the stoic leader, women, they hear those emotions, they empathize, but they subtly lose attraction. And I'm not saying all their attraction is going to be lost at one time. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that over time, if you were to continue to do this, if you were to cry in front of her, if you were to complain, tell all your feelings, over time, she would become less and less attracted to you. And that would demean the relationship and deteriorate the relationship over time.
Yeah. So, then we're obviously not talking about all women, but it is a good amount. At least that is a good amount. That is very hard to express your feelings.
Because in my CBL days, CLB, Certified Lover Boy days, I have cried to a woman and that shit didn't work. Like it wasn't meant to like do anything, but like it clearly deteriorated the relationship.
Yeah. You would think to letting them know how their actions made you feel would the way they think things, but yeah, that's another podcast. We're gonna do a CLB podcast, but yeah, okay. Am I tripping?
So I got the thing with you. So last I don't know what day it was. It was last week. That was the worst day of my life, and that's the craziest part because when I go on dates with women, especially over the last couple of years, I've had great dates. Like all of them have been great. Most of the time that they didn't work out is because I ended the relationship or like she ghosted me for another dude, which happens pretty much all the time just because, you know,
just the nature of
the nature of the dating game. Yeah. And I should probably stop dating 9s to 10s, but there's that. But I want the worst day of my life. So I went to Cheddar's, right? And you let me know why I'm tripping because this actually might be me tripping. Like I'm not perfect in these situations.
I'll let you know.
So we met up. First of all, I didn't get a number. We were just talking on Instagram. So let's preface this with this. We known each other for a day. We had talked for a day. We met her Hinge. Talked for a day on Instagram. Met up at Cheddar's the next day, whatever. And so we chilling and talking to her. I like meeting her. She looks kind of like her pictures, but I didn't find her as attractive in person as I did on socials, which is, you know, pretty common with women at this point. So It is what it is. But we chopped it up, and when we're talking, like, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because I've had too many conversations with women, but I don't like to just talk about random small shit like that. I have to small talk on my day. Yeah, it's that, and I do small talk all day, like with my clients and coworkers. So I'm not trying to do that again, you know, after work, after the gym. And so I'm super straight to the point because I want to actually get to know who this girl is. So I start asking her about, you know, what she's doing right now, what her future goals are, and, you know, kind of like her past and how she's led here, because we started talking on Valentine's Day. Yeah. And she obviously was single and she wasn't happy about it. So I was asking her why she was single. And that struck a nerve because then she had started talking about her ex and how she cheated on him. And I was like, oh, why did he cheat on you?
Oh, he cheated on her.
Yeah, he cheated on her. Okay. And I was like, okay, so why did he cheat on you? She was like, well, I have no idea. I never asked. And I'm like, I mean, I understand why people don't ask why their significant other didn't cheat on them. Yeah. But like for me, it's like there might be a reoccurring reason why people are cheating on you that you need to know about that you just never figure out because you never ask.
Yeah.
And like, I think a lot of people should, and I know it's hard because it's hard to end relationships amicably, but
Right.
you know, if at all possible, like you should ask your ex how they experienced you and how you can get better in a relationship. So for your personal development, because if not, you'll continue to make the same mistakes over and over. And that's exactly what we're seeing here in the dating market. But when I said this, like it really hurt her feelings. Like it hurt her feelings to where she was about to cry.
Yeah, she was not ready for the information.
She wasn't ready for the information. So I continued, and you know me, like I'm gonna look you in your face. I'm gonna just continue talking. And so we kind of changed the subject, going back and forth, and like we get back up to the point. I don't even know what we're talking about, but we were talking about something else, and she got uncomfortable again, and she ended up just like paying for her food, getting up and leaving, and I did the same. And I was just like, man, people are super like people are crazy sensitive, and they're not ready to hear anything to make them better. They're just content with being their own self, which is fine. But it's like, damn, like I didn't say anything out of the ordinary. And obviously, you know, I have conversations with women all the time that don't end that way. So I was just wondering, am I tripping because I don't want to have small talk on a first date and I want to actually get to know the person? Or like, should I just like take it really slow and have small talk and talk about nothing?
I'm gonna tell you this. Has she been talking to the old Rashad, you would be tripping in this situation. Because I know how Rashad can get and how he had truth when some niggas are just not man. And you tell it like it is, so I respect it. But I have worked with Rashad and just like the basic delivery of it. But I know for sure now at this point that he's at in his life, that delivery is fine. Like she just wasn't ready for the information.
She wasn't ready for it, bro.
And all that. So
because I was talking in as nice as possible tone, because I could feel the tension. I was like, all right, let me like relax just a little bit. But anything I was asking, anything I was saying, she was just not feeling the energy. So I was like, all right,
this must have been a recent breakup then. My goodness. Like
she said it was like 2 years ago. She was like deployed or something and he cheated on her. And I was like, I heard like, what I was like, what do you expect? Like, will you expect a man just to not have sex for multiple years and he'd be cool? What is he getting out of the relationship? You're gone. So like, what is he getting? He's not getting any emotional support. He's not getting shit.
It's hard. That is, yeah. Because long distance relationships in general are just, that's a no-go for me, bro. Like, but I want to take a piece of what you were saying out, because you talked about how when people get in a relationship, after they end the relationship and there's no way to end it amicably, getting that feedback of what do I need to get better? Because I think that is another consistent thing. You know, we have that one friend that consistently goes after the same type of dudes. There's even guys and go after the same type of girls and think that, you know, if I try harder, you know, it will. So I want to bring this full circle in to start off with our topic of the week. It's mainly about investing in yourself. And I think that is a part of the whole investing in yourself is the whole feedback part. I think one thing we are very scared of is critical feedback, whether it be in our professional lives, whether it be just, you know, normal lives. We are so scared of feedback and that we're doing stuff wrong, or that we think the other person thinks that we have all the answers when we really don't. I think it's so important to receive feedback, because with me, I used to be I would say my college version of myself, I wasn't as receptive to feedback. Like if you try to tell me something, I just be like, bro, I already know, you know, I probably had the big head and I was like, bro, I already know what to do. Like I ain't really got to listen to you. But I think now, you know, to humble myself and to see like, because even if, you know, last we talked about not taking things personal, although this person isn't necessarily attacking your character, they are a single perspective that you now have that somebody else may share. So like, even with like to go back to the whole Rashad, like how he used to deliver information, like you probably heard that from multiple like people.
100%.
Like, yeah. And so it gets to a point where you're like, all right, if multiple people are saying this,
There's something wrong with me.
there is something wrong with me and there's something that I need to change. And so with that whole investing in yourself, you have to acknowledge sometimes that there are faults that we have and that we have to be okay with even the people close to us, pointing out those faults and showing us, where we need to improve. So, to start talking about the whole invest in yourself, you talked a lot about, or you mentioned a lot about the, basically increasing your value a couple episodes. So what does that mean to increase your value in the market?
Yeah. So just to piggyback off what you said, it leads perfectly into this. Like, this is why I advocate for most people playing sports, even if you don't have the body, if you don't have the skill, like go out there and just do whatever, because it makes you become coachable. Right. And you're able to handle that critical feedback from your coach about your game or your running. And so you take that mindset and you can apply it to your everyday life. And that's exactly what you do in order to win this game of life. So I think that's incredibly important, like you said, and that leads me right into the investing in myself. What does it mean to really invest in myself? And I just think it means to grow your mindset, because people don't really get rich off doing, one thing. I mean, they can, but really people's mindsets are what's rich. So if you were to take a rich person that's rich in their mindset and take away all the money, they would just make the money right back.
Bro, make it right back, bro.
And that's so that's
scary.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I think when you're investing in yourself, you're investing in your mindset. Because if you can invest in your mindset, the law of attraction will bring anything you want to you. And so what does it mean to invest in your mindset? There are a lot of things that you can do, but I think the most important one is to realize that you can invest in your mindset just through your own experiences in life.
Yeah.
If you stopped making the same mistakes over and over again, by the time you reach 10 years, 20 years, you will be so much better. And the only way to not make the same mistakes over and over is to either write down what your mistakes were and how you can fix them, or get critical feedback often. Those are really the only two ways. For instance, if I write down, look, I don't need to be sleep past 8 a.m. because if I do, then the rest of my day kind of goes crazy. Like I don't get as much done. Then I could literally stop waking up past 8 a.m. And then over the course of the next 10 years, because I'm getting more stuff done every single day, I'll be exponentially ahead of if I would have never wrote that down. And sometimes I got up, at 9:30. Sometimes I got up at 7:30. Like the inconsistency wouldn't breed great results. And so I say that all to say that you need to write down exactly what your strategy is going to be on a day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month, year-to-year basis, and actually tell yourself where you improved, where you failed, and how you can improve going forward. That's really the only way to invest in yourself. Well, there's one of the ways to invest in yourself.
Yes, and to piggyback on that point, one of my favorite quotes is from Aristotle. He said, "We are what we repeatedly do." So that means excellence then is not an act, but a habit. I think it's so important to establish a routine. That's one thing that's really helped me improve in the different goals that I have. So let's use like the whole workout routine. Establishing something to where, at this time of the day, I will be in the gym. No matter what is going on, no matter rain, sleet, sunshine, I will be in the gym. And so what you have to do is establish that habit, from day one. And it says it takes about 2 to 3 weeks to like form a habit. I think the least that you can do with whatever habit that you're trying to achieve is just show up. So what I mean by that, so for the gym example, one thing that I did that when I really didn't want to go to the gym, I would just go into the building. I would go into the building. I was like, all right, let me just, get 10 minutes on the bike. If I'm 10 minutes on the bike and I don't feel like being here, I'll go ahead and jet out. But I also need that muscle memory of going to the gym every day of, all right, it's 5 o'clock. I'm finished studying or I'm just getting off work. Let me go ahead to the gym. it's the pure action of it that helps you,
bro.
And so, one of my favorite books is a book by, I forget, it was a military vet, but it was called Make Your Bed. And I think it's something as simple as making your bed every day that improves your overall like skill set and habits, around you. Because when you're able to, for this example, make your bed every day, you're committed to a process and you will start to use that process in everything that you do. And so when you start to see things like start to fall apart, at least for me, when I start to see things fall apart, I ask myself, all right, what is my consistent routine that I'm doing? That's my first thing. The second thing that I do is, all right, now that I have that consistent routine, what is working and what is not working?
Right.
Because there's something in here that there's a specific result that I'm looking for that I'm not getting. And there's something in my routine that needs to be changed.
Right.
And so establishing that habit of, and that's that everyday learning. So like, there's going to be some days where you're like, oh, I really want to work on my arms, or I really want to work on my abs. Like, and it just takes you that intentional act of saying like, all right, I'm going to go in here, 30 minutes, work on legs. Even though I hate legs, I hate doing, squats and everything, but I'm going to go ahead and do it. And so I wanted to ask you, so what are some of your like routines or things that keep you on track to your everyday goals?
Yeah, so I want to start by saying what you said is incredibly important about routines. And I think the most important part about a routine is you have to do that routine. Well, if it's a routine, you do it even when you don't feel like it. Man. For instance, when I was running track back at Texas A&M, it really wasn't an option of if I wanted to go to practice or not. During the rain, sleet, snow, if I was sick, it didn't really matter. I had to show up and I had to at least warm up and do some stretches.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Most of the time I just got the workout done after that anyways. But what I mean by saying that is there's going to be times where you don't feel like doing what's in your routine or what's the habit you're trying to create. And you literally just have to do it anyway. You have to do it anyway. You have to get to that point where you just do it anyway.
And I think another part to use your track analogy, sometimes this is why I'm also a proponent of having people to, be in sports, is that there comes to a point where people are relying on you, especially when you get good. People are starting heavily relying. They're just like, all right, Rashad wasn't at practice today. Like, if they know, like,
oh my god, let me be late. So Rashad can be late, but can't nobody else. I'm like, fuck, I can't even be late because now coach look bad.
Yes, but it's because one thing, and that's a gift and a curse right there. Because I had that same experience in college where it's just like you have now performed at a level that everybody has seen what you can do, and so any instance of you falling below that bar is you quote unquote slacking off or you not giving your all. And it's not that because you're always going to look different every single day.
Right.
Like, and that's why it's so hard when people think like, oh, I want to give, 110%. It's just like, bro, sometimes you just got to give 30%. And like that.
Sometimes you have to give 30%. And it's healthy to do that. If you went 110% every day, you would end up dead or hurt.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what, a big proponent is LeBron James. Like he's doing this 20 years, bro. 38 years old. He has consistently give us, game after game of just excellence, bro.
Yeah.
And like, it's essential.
So some of my routines, like in the morning, I make up my bed, unless I'm running really late, which is not so often nowadays. But I make up my bed. I'm trying to get a nice little breakfast routine, but I've been skipping breakfast for so long, it's hard to get into that. But at lunch, like every day for the past 2-3 months, I've been doing a LSAT game, a logic game, whether it be like the same one or a different one. Like I'm kind of running out of logic games, but I do that. Every time I go to the gym, I automatically do a warm up because I just cannot go into the gym without warming up. I either bike 10 minutes or I run for 10 minutes, one of the two. I obviously go to the gym every single day because it's in my blood to do that at 5:30, 5 o'clock. But I think the most important routine that you need to make is like when you don't feel like doing something, you do it anyways. I think that's the most important.
Because people are, to go back to that whole thing of people relying on you, at the end of the day, like I think now that we're at like, 25, 26, like we're okay in our lives because nobody's really relying on us. Like we don't have to provide for anybody. Like, you know, us specifically, we got our own house and we just be in the house all day. Like, there's nobody we have to come home to.
Oh God,
it'll provide more information.
if we didn't want to do anything all day, we could do that,
bro. That's a gift that I'm trying to appreciate now. Like I know that sometimes it feels lonely. So like even today, I don't know, maybe it's just, I don't know about you, but today was excessively weird because I don't know if people just didn't feel like talking, but like it wasn't going on anything on Instagram. There was nothing going on.
There was nothing going on today.
And I was like, is everybody okay? Like,
there was nothing going on. I was in the group message talking about nothing. Like,
bro, nobody was saying anything. And it wasn't just ours. It was like my fraternity brother group message, like my cousins. Like nobody was saying anything. But I mean, I guess that goes with the whole, like, you can't give 100 every day. But yeah, so that's how we invest in ourselves, you know, from a physical aspect and just routines every day. But of course, you know, the main thing when we talk about investing in ourselves, it has to come from like money. So as I'm getting older, I'm starting to realize that pretty much everything costs. Like everybody has a dollar amount, everything that you want to do. And as you get, you know, progressively better at whatever you do, you're going to have to pay for some, you know, conference or education. And so an important thing that I want to get our listeners is the fact that at the end of the day, when it comes to investing in yourself, the biggest word in that is invest. So you have to pay to play the game of, you know, improving yourself. What does that look like? That looks like paying for study material. You know, if you're doing the LSAT, if you're doing the CPA, actually paying for study material, not trying to like, you know, bum it off a friend, but actually paying for these different conferences to, you know, invest in yourself. I feel like, you know, people are.
And so Xavier, what does paying for it do to your mindset?
That is a great question. I'm so glad you asked that. Paying for it allows you to have some skin in the game. It's a perfect example is when you have a gym membership. So obviously, if you're living in an apartment and you have a gym downstairs, you're like, oh, I got a gym downstairs. I'm gonna just work out whenever.
Exactly.
But when you pay $30 for it, you are absolutely going to, all right, I need to get my ass to the gym. Man, I can even say that for, so, you know, we have a podcast, you know, when we want to hire more people onto the podcast, we have to know that they need to be paid for their services.
Man,
we are not going to do this just for willy-nilly. Hey, can you just, you know, believe in us and give me
like that shit's dead.
Nah. And so then, and that's another thing that plays like the whole Black community is just like, you know, investing in Black businesses. So I think sometimes
you're on trade, bro. That's crazy. Okay.
And that's what I have to say for like, you know, our business when I'm looking at Marcus's business, like, and that's why I'm such a big like advocate of networking laterally. So like everybody that's in your circle now, like, why wouldn't you want to pay, you know, your nigga $50 for a haircut? You know, bro, don't ever go to your friend and be like, hey, bro, can I get a discount? Like anybody who ever comes to me about like their business or, you know, if they have a project going on, I want to pay full price because I want to let you know that one, I believe in you, and two, what you're asking for is what you're worth. Yeah. And I think that could be a hard thing to do as you're growing, you know, in yourself, you know, as we're becoming adults. Actually asking people.
That should be status quo, bro.
Yes, it should be status quo to like actually, but, and this is a big part of investing in yourself is, you know, there comes a time where you need to set a price. Because there's going to be a time where me and Rashad will start selling some of these episodes or selling some like educational part of what we're giving.
100% going to happen.
And we have to know that like, hey, bro, you know, this is game. We have to basically monetize or quantify how much game that we're giving out.
We're literally showing you guys how to be the best versions of yourself. That's priceless, really.
It's priceless.
So you're really getting a good deal regardless of what we charge.
Okay. And so, from the whole investing, I know you brought up Rashad he is a weak when it comes to finance, bro. Like,
Yeah, so when it comes to investing, like I think I can kind of connect the dots for both monetary and personal investment. And so monetarily, when you're investing, and monetarily means money, finance. So in terms of the dollar, when you invest, the point of investing is not really to make more money. It is, but that's kind of like the secondary goal. The main goal is to beat inflation, because if inflation, let's just say it's at 6% right now, if you were to take, $100,000 and carry it over for a year at 6% inflation, effectively on December 31st, if you get that money on January 1st, it's going to be worth $94,000. So you want to invest that $100,000. So now you can at least have $106,000 that's worth that same $100,000 now. I don't know if that made sense to people, but just kind of like explaining it like a 5-year-old. If you have money today, it's going to be worth less than money tomorrow because of inflation.
Yeah.
So you want to invest that money today so you'll have more money tomorrow, so it'll equal the money that you have today.
So no, it makes total sense. So what are some of your best investment strategies? Like, what do you look for? Fast money gigs, sports betting, or
No, I mean, a lot of the people that I talk to are into the gambling, the sports betting. I just think it's gambling. I definitely have a gambling problem because I've been to Vegas, and so I just can steer completely clear of all that gambling stuff. But my investment strategy is really super simple. Like there's not anything complicated about it. I invest in. Okay, I have a Northwestern Mutual Brokerage account, and they invest in whatever they invest in. I don't care. They invest in index funds, though. I'll tell them index funds. And so they handle all that because I don't care about looking at it. What index funds? Index funds are basically funds that have, it's really hard to explain. It's like
multiple companies.
Yeah, just have multiple companies. Like if you have, a sector of a technology sector, that might be in a, index fund type of thing. So instead of investing in just one company, you're investing in the entire sector. If that makes any sense.
Okay, yeah.
And so that's kind of what an index fund is. And so that's what I have with Northwestern Mutual. With Edward Jones, I invest in real estate. And so what that looks like is a lot of people think investing in real estate is I have to go buy a house, I have to go buy a rental property, I have to do this, I have to do that. But no, you don't have to necessarily fork out that much capital meaning just your own money. You don't have to fork out that much capital because not everybody can afford it. And if that were the case, real estate would be a huge barrier to entry, which people is. But what you can actually do is you can buy mortgages off the secondary market with, a broker. So I use Edward Jones. So I just buy. So what? And so let me preface this by saying this.
I'm about to say, what's the secondary market?
Let's start from the top. So you have the primary market of buyers and sellers.
Okay.
If I go and purchase a home, let's just say the home I purchased in October, I purchased that on the primary market where I purchased it from the seller using the bank's funds. That is a primary transaction.
Okay.
What happens is the bank has a limited amount of capital inside of its bank account, which is your money. And so if you work with a Wells Fargo, let's just say they have $1 billion in their capital reserve, their cash. If they're giving out loans on top of loans, 300, 400, 500, 200 million, whatever the amount of loan is, they're going to essentially run out of money.
Right.
They're going to give out so many loans that they're not going to have any money to back it up. And so if people were to ask for their money, they would have no money to give out. So in order to avoid the problem, the bank sells the mortgage that it just gave you on the secondary market to invest in Xavier. And in that case, if depending on if it's above par or below par, they'll make either they mostly make a profit.
Yeah.
And so when they make this profit, now instead they gave out $370,000 for this house, they're going to get back $390,000. So they're going to have the capital back plus the $20,000 which they used to pay the bankers. And so that's kind of how the financial system works on the real estate aspects. Yeah. And so when you're purchasing real estate, you could buy some of these mortgage-backed securities on the secondary market. Or an easier way to do this is to go on the stock market and buy what's called a real estate investment trust, a REIT, on the stock market. And one REIT is called Vornado, right? And I did a project on this back in college, in my college days with Connor. But Vornado, and that they purchase Class A plus office buildings in New York City. And they use the capital that they get from these REITs, which you invest in, to purchase those properties. And then with the leasing income they make, they pay it back to you in dividends and cash flow. And so that's another way you can get into real estate. You can go invest in a real estate investment trust. That's I just named 2 good ways, but those are not the only ways.
Yeah, I think, and this is one key takeaway that I think you should know, and it's kind of a flashback to our last episode, is you can't be scared when like the losses come. I think with the whole pay to play, sometimes, and this is a question I was going to ask you, Rashad. Sometimes there comes out where you see a very successful venture that you're just like, oh, let me try that. Let me figure out like what I need to do to put in my money towards it. But what happens when you fail? So I wanted to ask you, when was the last time that you tried out for something and like you actually failed?
So I'll tell you a financial one that I failed. So I invested in EOG Resources in 2019. I invested it with a pretty large check. I think I put in $2,000, and I was in college at the time, so it was a lot of money. And COVID happened. And as you know, over COVID, transportation prices, oil prices all shot down. EOG is an oil and gas company based out of Texas. And so my stock went right down. And so me knowing this information, I put in $2,000 and my stuff was worth like $600 during COVID. So that's a loss of about $1,400. What did I do? I did not panic. I just sat there and I said, look, the market usually recovers over time. So the longer I hold this, the more money I'm going to make. The only thing that could happen is I either lose more money, which I really don't care about at this point, or I could take my money out and realize all the losses. So I waited for another 2 years, and the money ended up going back up to about $800, not $800, $1,800. So I put in $2,000, and it was about $1,800 when I took it out. I took it out because I wanted to transfer my assets into another sector, which is in the tech sector. So I only realized a loss of $200, right, instead of that $1,400. And if it were still in there, I would have made money, because we know the oil and gas sector has recovered a little bit. It's getting better. So I would have recovered all my money and made money. So I say all this to say, like, a lot of times people fail because they want to fail instead of being patient.
Yes, bro.
And that's exactly where I have patience tatted on me.
And this is like the highest level of game. So I'm putting y'all on like some really good shit. But basically, obviously we live in a capitalistic society. So one thing that's important to know about that is America always rewards people that buy into the capitalistic system. So whether it be LLCs, whether it be tax harvesting, anything like that. So, to take Rashad's example, this is just my tax. Like, this is not tax advice. This is just, we do this purely for entertainment. You need a financial advisor. But what I'm saying is, there are some tax ways. So let's just say there's a big thing called taking a bath. In finance, this is a term called taking a bath. And what that means is, so for when you buy a stock, let's just say you buy a stock at $5 and it goes up to $10. So it's doubled in price. You get taxed on that profit every year. So if you're doing great in the stock market, hooray for you. Just know that you got to pay taxes on the profit.
Capital gains tax.
Yes, you got to pay a capital gains tax for that profit that you realize. Mm-hmm. But one thing that people don't know is that let's just say Rashad got scared and he saw the oil and gas company shoot down to 600, and he now has to realize $1,400 in loss. What he can do now is put that on as a carrying loss on his tax statement, which he can honestly get credited for at the end of the tax year.
I sure could do that.
So yeah, so this past year I was just doing my taxes, and the only reason why I brought it up is this year I did my taxes and my trading, because we did last year was just trash. They kept on raising the interest rates. It's like, yeah, my stock kept on going down. But now I can take the losses that I have this year and use it as a tax, savings tool to my tax refund this year. So, but if you don't have that certain knowledge, you get scared, take the loss, and you don't even benefit from it at the end of the year.
And that's exactly what happened to me.
And this is why it's so important to, one, seek the knowledge. Always seek the knowledge in everything that you're going to do. Like whether it be the investing, you hear about REITs, you hear Rashad talking about it, so you want to always put that extra effort of investigation behind it.
Right.
Because it's not just us. We're just telling this from our perspective, but also be okay with the losses that you may happen in the future because, and I'm about to bring this full circle in finance and in personal life. Sometimes when you take losses, they end up as wins in the end, bro. They end up as wins in the end if you stay committed to the process.
If you stay committed to the process, bro, that's excellent level game, bro.
Excellent level game. He's cooking right now. That shit is
bro. I am cooking right now. Yeah,
crazy, bro. Crazy, bro. And the thing about it is, to piggyback off what Xavier is talking about, like, we really are here to not give you guys the answers, but give you guys the mindset. We really want to teach you how to think, so you don't need to ask us questions. You could just formulate the answers yourselves. That's why we give you examples of what we do, but we really just talk about it in theory based, because it's like, okay, you could take our situation and learn from it, but what happens when your situation is slightly different? Like, you can't just call us every single time. You have to be able to answer it. So we're giving you the knowledge now so you can answer it later. And one of the biggest things he said was to do your own research. And this is how we did our research. You could take how we did our research and apply it to your life and come up with your own answers. And I think that's the most important part of the Two Black Kings podcast.
And we killed that shit on my soul, bro. On my soul.
Period. So guys, this is a lot of high level game we just gave you. We have some more stuff that we could have talked about, but we're gonna say that for another podcast. Let us know if you have any more questions, whether it be relationship, finance. Shouts to the Orange Mound. Shouts to the Two Black Kings podcast. We're gonna come out with some shirts, probably not April, probably August, September-ish. So stay on the lookout for that. But we'll see you guys next week. Peace.